even though they've picked Inferno, this is the best case scenario for them, because if you look at the statistics across the board for Endpoint, for all the maps that they've played, they have very good win percentages. 60% on Dust 2, 69% on Overpass, Train 65%. So this is their best case scenario. This is as close to a win percentage that they can get when they pick out Inferno. And the other two maps, of course, going to be very shaky, but let's see if LDLC can truly punch above their weight and still get a knockout.
Endpoint starting off on the CT side of Vertigo as well. We've seen quite a bit of success for teams so far on that today. Windstrike in particular looked beautiful on it. Body, meanwhile, P250 at the ready. He is, of course, one of the players that you need to chime in and come alive. If Body can come through with some great kills, and you know what, Vertigo can be somewhat buggy. Vertigo can be somewhat dependent on individuals, so maybe Body is that player. He can give it a throwback to 2016. Unfortunately,
for them.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of damage being exchanged as Afro has taken a few bullets to the body. And also body to the body. I'm sorry, I just need to be quiet now. And Thomas, meanwhile, on the CT side, has taken a headshot. Very slow round coming through. LDLC slowly making their way up the ramp. Not sure if they'll be checking Crucial anytime soon, because I think the way the CTs are set up, they will try to bait the T players away from him.
Oh, very important kill for Body to find on Robin. Crucial will be overwhelmed from the side. Body's not done as he comes through the P250, really giving a return on the investment. Mighty Max and Surreal at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised to see them backing up the save. Mighty Max for sure is considering it. He's got the kit, he's got the Kevlar, and he's got no teammates, which is generally a CT side sign for a runaway.
Yeah, a diffuse kit, armor, flashbang, I think, at this point. The best decision to make here is to save. Even then, it'll be very difficult. He is getting stormed from all angles. He's picked up a kill. Perhaps he can pick up a second, but as he's picking up the gun, he will get picked up himself. LDLC getting the first round.
Hugely important for them to be able to find that one, and Body's kills are huge. 3 kills for him all across the pistol round. The first 2 were the ones that opened up the bomb side. Crucial wasn't expecting someone to hard clear him out from up close and personal. I think it was really just expecting the late players on ramp to be coming in to check his position. Body's the first entry and he just goes in forward. So he's definitely caught unaware. And with that, Afro can move through, take down Surreal. Robin with a 5-7 will be next to fall. And LDLC, they're now in a 5 versus 2.
Yeah, they've got head armor, they've got deagles. I think the best case scenario here is to potentially get exits, but I think just outright trying to save this weaponry would probably be the best. Even exits at this point would be a little too expensive for the CT side. They did buy up entirely, and that means that they want to hold on to as much as they can get.
Oh.
Mighty Max spotting a player, doesn't quite commit to throwing the nade just yet, doesn't know if he's done damage, because that shot was quite close. And yeah, there it is. They have entirely committed to saving.
Mighty Max is, as an in-game leader, is one of those leaders who has really stepped up his tactical side, really stepped up his individual side recently as well, but we need to see that materializing on the server. So far, just a pistol round coming through. And LDLC, they will be able to get a few free rounds off the back of that. I want to see if Endpoint can actually pull anything together with a good nade stack or something on those lines. Just take a few guns out of LDLC's hands, make them sweat a little bit moving into the first gun round. Not just that, but let's not forget how incredibly difficult the double op off Endpoint can be to deal with. If Crucial and Surreal can both get their hands on one apiece. Sure, Vertigo is not really the best of map for the double op, but they can make it work for sure. Crucial really likes getting aggressive with that over towards ramp, and Surreal, he can do decently in mid as well. Crucial, unfortunately, will go down right now, though, so even if there will be any kills, they won't be adding money to his coffers.
That's just 6. as the 6 are being taken out. Endpoint still looking to do as much damage as they can possibly get. Afro will walk into the crosshairs of a Deagle on the other end, but Mighty Max will have to hit that first shot if he wants this damage to go through. Very patient game coming out from LDLC as they take their sweet time. They don't want any additional damage, and that will be ensured. Mighty Max, last man alive, in towards Ali. Bit of a game of cat and mouse, but Afro turns out to be the cat as he rips off the head of Mighty Max.
Now comes out the first full buy from Endpoint side, though. Crucial on the AWP. No secondary op there just yet. But you want to see how he's going to be getting aggressive with it. At the same time, LDLC, they've got to realize this. 6 has actually gone for an SG, and this is surprisingly good in this map even now, because there's certain positions where you can just tap down an Opera who's peeking down early, and they've done their research. They know Crucial likes to go for those picks in towards mid early on. The double nade comes in. It's really nicely placed, and Crucial is already going to be much more defensively postured as a result of that. But Surreal takes the opportunity to aggress forward. He's found himself one. The second will soon fall. It's Robin to close body into a corner and try and clothesline him down.
Oh, Body tries to get a little aggressive, but he knows that he's just one bullet away through the smoke to fall. Robin, that aggression paying off. He's got him the advantage from what looked like it might have been the advantage for LDLC. AWP still alive and kicking in the hands of Crucial, so that'll always be something very difficult to maneuver around. Slowly making their way towards the B-bomb site. Well, actually, they're going to change their mind. Slowly be backing off. That might just be the right move, especially with the Green Goblin on the other end. But regardless of what bomb site they decide to go to, they will have 2 players to deal with. Question is, what is easier to hold on to? What ends up being the easier path?
At this point, it's not about ease anymore. LDLC, they are on... Hey, they've got a Molotov that could flush a player out of his position, but Afro finds Mighty Max, takes him down early. They're not expecting Thomas, and Thomas wants to get aggressive, find himself a quick pick before his teammates come over. We will see the elbow of Afro. Afro's taken down by Robin as he moved out into his aim. Sixer on that SG, trying to play anti-retake. Flashbangs and will move forward, but the CTs, they don't have much utility. Sixer's position is so difficult to deal with, they might as well just save at this point. Thomas going for the plan, defuse, and get it out. These players are not sticking it. Robin will be the last one to fall, and Sixer's SG, man, it's been doing so well from this angle when there isn't anything to flush him out.
Oh yeah, that just makes the aim duel that much easier. But Robin's still able to scrape by with the AWP in his hands. And I think this might actually come back to bite LDLC. Sure, it was a little difficult to stop him entirely and even shut him out. But with that op being saved, that's an op in the hands of Crucial, and you know how deadly that player can be. Speaking of being deadly, though, we haven't really seen that turn up just yet, but it's only been 4 rounds, with the 5th round underway. Let's see if that steps up soon.
Oh, Surreal. Surreal is one of the players who I've seen most often getting aggressive into his lead. He loves going for those, and I say that I love seeing a few good one-taps from the Deagle. Crucial as well now. There comes that ramp aggression I was talking about. Comes through, shuts him down, nades forward as well. It won't do any damage, but it'll push Afro into a position where he wants to get aggressive. Afro catches him off, though. Crucial simply wasn't ready for it, and now it's all about Thomas on the Deagle. He's so good with his first bullet accuracy. He doesn't quite land this time, but he's able to get the kill nonetheless, turn it into a 2 versus 2, and the AK can be recovered if he wants to move forward. But seems like LDLC, they will just turn tail and head over towards the B-bomb site, and there they go.
Yeah, that's the danger that you have to deal with when you let the enemy take an AWP away. Well, before the bomb even goes down, they're set up for the retake. Surreal taking quite a bit of damage around the generator area because of that Molotov being deployed. Gets caught around the pillar. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Haji almost gets the drop on Thomas, but that's the 1 versus 2 being won by him. Comfortable defuse, doesn't need the kit, and that 3K from Thomas is huge. Just get the ball rolling and avoid LDLC from getting to that 5-0, because regardless of how many rounds you're losing at the same time, consecutively, the CT side economy will always be a very fragile beast. It'll always be very difficult, because even the maxed out loss bonus will not be able to afford you the basic weaponry required to hold down a decent T-push.
Huge 1v2 though from Thomas, of course. Now, fast-paced play, but it comes back to bite LDLC. Mighty Max is there, and he is stomping away at their head. Sixer, with the help of a Molotov, will have a barbecued Mighty Max, though. For dinner, lunch, and any other time he wants to. It seems like smoke comes out for Robin to get himself a little bit more safety on the edge of the railing. Thomas can't land that shot. A flashbang comes out. Robin will not be peeking out of the back of that. And now he does get the shot back off the safety. Crucial doesn't land the crucial shot. And a 2 versus 4. Endpoint, they are suffering because of Crucial's lack of form. He's really not showing up right now and has missed, a couple of shots here and there, which are maybe a few too many already. Endpoint, despite finding the one round that they wanted, they can't chain a few together just yet.
Mighty Max kill there was huge, but they're unable to follow it up. Aji, meanwhile, will be making quick work of Serial towards mid. Robin found himself in this position before, where he's left all alone. Manages to get a kill, but obviously his goal will be to save that AWP. Again, a peace offering being brought for Crucial.
More like a sacrifice. Crucial, please.
Just take this.
And kill them all. However, that's not been something that's been materializing, and so far it has very much been Body's show. 7 kills in 5 rounds. Sign me up any day of the week. At the same time, his teammates have also been performing reasonably well. Lambert being passed over the AWP because obviously he has 7 HP, which is not great.
Listen, I'd be fine with Lambert getting the AWP even if he was on 100 HP, because sure, you might see Sixer on the AWP more often, but we've seen how crazy Lambert can be when the secondary op goes through. That being said, doesn't seem like the same case for Robin.
I have to quickly point out that Endpoint have both of their star players, and Crucial and Surreal, on 1 frag each. That's simply not enough. While on the other side, LDLC, their star players are chiming in. Afro's on 8, Body's on 7, and sure, again, 6 rounds in and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but 6 rounds, tea time, that's not very much. That's a quarter of a game, potentially. So, obviously, it means a lot. And you need these players to start coming live. Robin, with the AWP, I think he just had a good spawn, so he wants to go for the pick first and foremost before he maybe passes the op back. Will be smoked off early on, though. And Mighty Max, yet again, he's getting aggressive. You'd think that they would get tired of it, but seems like Max is having none of that.
Yeah, but the smoke is dissipating soon. That will be exposing him. Meanwhile, though, LDLC, they've had most of their sights towards B. Rotation comes through as well from the CT side. Molotov just flush out the player, spamming away with the Deagle. Surreal barely dodging that, but he finally gets caught by the flames, has to back off, and now LDLC realizes they know exactly where the players are on Endpoint, but the rotation will be coming through as well. It seems as if LDLC are being followed. They're being kited to the bomb site that they want to go to, but they'll always have that increased firepower. Does that work out for them, though? Robin tries to go for a quick scope, but unfortunately, Afro's finger on the trigger will be quite the sight to see.
Oh, big kill for Crucial to find, even if it doesn't really translate through to much. Thomas will fall as well. They lose the M4. They could have saved an M4 and an AWP. I don't really know why they went for this. But hey, Surreal, at least he can still save the AWP, which has apparently been brought on for generations at this point. That AWP was wielded by your great-great-grandfather. He also missed shots with it.
Well, why do you think he's not in the match anymore?
That's true. That is true. Very morbid, but true.
That's why it gets passed down very quickly, too.
Well, Surreal Can he hold on to the family heirloom? Looks like it will be a little bit tough as they have been closed in from each side. And finally, it's time for the family to go shopping. Endpoint pulls something new together. The question is, was it maybe just that op? Was it bad juju? Because so far, Sorrel's found 1 kill. Crucial still on 2. One of those kills not very impactful either. So you're asking yourself, when do these 2 players come alive?
Yeah, at this point you really need, I think especially Crucial to start stepping up, because when you have the power of the 8 LVP on your hands, on Vertigo, you're in a great position to really lead your team to victory, and that's something that Crucial's done before, don't get me wrong. He's one of those players that really gets it done, but at the same time, and not being able to chime in right now might just be why there's a 6 on the side of LDLC and 1 for Endpoint. Utility being primed up, mid-control soon to be established. Crucial still able to find an angle right behind the flames. Knows it to pixel perfection where the flames will be. Now he's about to get peeked. The battle of the operas. Sixer gets stagged through the box with nothing in return. Looks at that Molotov coming through.
Well, that Molly will not really matter. Crucial hasn't given up ground towards mid too much. He knows that they're coming in for the flank. So LDLC, when they back off with a limping Opper, they're very much the losers in that trade. Flash comes in. Afro boosted up to bookshelf. Sorrel is now waiting for them to come over. He himself will just be smoking himself off to give himself a bit of a one-way. Working around that, but unfortunately doesn't quite here. Afro stepping in from the side. Body and Haji both chiming in as well. A 2 versus 4, rather. But it doesn't seem like they're likely to go for this. They know that they're under so much pressure, but they also have the pressure of the economy right behind their backs. Will they go?
Yeah, I think at that point they were just hoping for the first kill to come through and then maybe think about going for the retake. But that being said, it took way too long for that first interaction to even happen. Mighty Max backing off his teammate. Maybe was hoping for an exit before he backed off, but that didn't come through. Body does go down to Mighty Max though, but will he be able to stick to this M4? That is the question. They are chasing after him. Looks like the angle too, but fortunately for him, Afro will be the one to take his gun forward.
And LDLC are making me eat my words. They are very much dominating Endpoint. They're not letting anyone chime in whatsoever from the Endpoint side. Mighty Max, the in-game leader, is the one who's top fragging for the CT side. And that is simply not aggression. Exactly.
Generally, you expect the AWP player or the rifler that sort of has it all cut out for him, has the opportunity set up for him to be getting those frags, but Mighty Max, despite all of that aggression, he's the one that is really getting things done here, but unfortunately, he's not getting enough done. Just 1 point on the board still for Endpoint, and LDLC have cemented their foot through the door. And now they're stuck there.
I was wondering how you can cement your foot through a door. That seems like that's not how it works. However, Endpoint, no flashes to get aggressive onto ramp with either. We haven't seen them try and flash themselves through the smoke or anything on those lines either. So at this point, they're just hoping that the jump spot from Mighty Max works out well. They do get some good information, smoke themselves off. Afro's taking down Robin, and the A-bomb side is very much open for business, but Crucial is not a very welcoming host. Both him and Mighty Max chime in with a kill apiece, a 4 versus 3, and LDLC have been forced to hold their horses and their AKs very close to their hearts to make sure that Endpoint can't recover either one of them. Nades flying through. And how do they play this out?
Saving grace being that they have the weaponry advantage, but Lambert, he gets the first kill, gets the second one as well, and that's the Deagles being obliterated. Still a 2 versus 3, so not entirely out of the question, and with only 20 seconds on the clock, they need to get this bomb down fast. If the bomb can be interrupted, then perhaps the round is theirs for the taking. Oh, the nade is primed as well. Bomb plant finally goes through, and I think they want to capitalize on the situation. Comes down swinging, but eventually it comes down to Haji, who's able to pick up Surreal and get the 8th round on the board for LDLC. Very good stuff from Thomas with his acrobatics and all, but unfortunately that was all for show, and LDLC still managed to get the round. Little unfortunate too, because they played that to perfection with the exception of Haji going back a little bit.
Well, Endpoint. Not Sex, oops. Endpoint will have crucial fall down early on. Sixer will be the one to take him down. However, I always make this mistake at least once a broadcast whenever I'm broadcasting Endpoint because of their CEX sponsor. But anyhow, 4v5 and Endpoint are already in a bad place. Molotov flies in, well placed, will be forcing them back just a little bit, but now you're slightly starting to see Endpoint maybe a little bit caught in tatters. They don't know how to deal with this LDLC ramp push that's coming in time and time again.
Yeah, and even when they do have the opportunity to fight back with it, it's often with some lacking utility. They don't have head armor, perhaps they don't have an AWP. So it's always really an uphill battle, and Haji will be making that hill much steeper as he picks up 2 kills. Tries to go for the third, but Titan actually is there for 1. Unfortunately, though, Afro immediately brings it back to a 1 versus 4. Surreal. What can you even do off of that boost? And then AWP is scoped in on that position. 9-1, LDLC, 1 round away from double digits. And Endpoint, on the other hand, one round.
This is one of those days for Endpoint, isn't it?
No, let me tell you exactly what it is. It's called a 2-week break.
The dangerous 2-week break. Well, maybe this is Endpoint getting the rust off of their shoulders, but LDLC are very happy to keep that oxygen flowing through to the iron. Sixer, all but the ready down in mid. He didn't find too much success with it before. This time, though, he's also not really going to find that kill. Dink down through a wall, but he only takes 2 points of health for that one. Thank you, Concrete. Afro to eliminate Mighty Max in the meanwhile.
Ooh, nice little kill from Robin. But the sad part is, Endpoint, they're able to get those deagle kills, sure. They're able to get a few refrags here and there. It's not like they're entirely done for in terms of kills when it comes to the scoreboard, but that doesn't seem to be materializing on the scoreline that matters. LDLC very much on the verge of getting double digits. There is no mistake to be made here. With this weaponry advantage, I think they're well on their way. Speaking of being on their way, though, they're now going to the B-bomb site. Surreal playing off of that bookshelf, potentially trying to get his crosshair onto the head of the incoming player, but Afro will be the one to do that first. Surreal is able to get the refrag, though. Quite a bit of damage being done. Eventually gets put down through the bookshelf. Flank coming through, but unfortunately, Crucial is spotted out. 3 players still alive to the B side, and it will be oh so difficult. Well, the B side have a flank of their own.
Maybe just save Crucial. You've been given saved ops by your teammates all across this game. Why don't you give them something as well? Come on, Crucial. He's thinking about it. Yes. That's the team spirit right there. He knows he can't really go for the 1 versus 3. And now,
what a half already.
I mean, you say what a half. I don't even know about that. I think
this is 1/3 of the game.
Yeah. If not potentially less or more. Yeah, that's how fractions work.
Oh yeah.
10-1. And all my confidence in Endpoint has come back and given me a kick in the shin.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Still no double up coming out from Endpoint. Seems like they don't really want to go for that at this stage. And who can blame them? Their ops haven't been having the most success, even with 1. So why double it up at that point? You've got to see something change from them very soon. Preferably hitting shots would be one of them. And Surreal comes out alive, gets that first kill. Body is aggressed upon and brought down, but Surreal trades a lot of HP for that. That means Crucial will be coming back into that B bomb site. It seems like Crucial's actually been navigating completely away. Afro will be happy to capitalize off of that navigation as it is quickly brought back to a 3 versus 3 with CTs being incredibly low.
That HP might just come into play because you have to keep in mind there's 2 AKs. Lambert wins the first duel in the mid connector, and Haji is there to follow it up with the second. 1 versus 3, brought to 0 as Sixer picks up the kill on Robin. 11-1, man, LDLC have really been going ham this game. Afro on 19 kills, 5 deaths. Just, I would say that he's carrying his team, but what can you really say here when you're going 11-1? Everybody's just destroying Endpoint entirely. Now, I'm starting to think, what does Endpoint need to do to start clawing their way back in? That's the question.
Win Inferno.
That's a nice way of putting it, but I meant maybe a little more of a short-term solution.
That is the short-term solution. But hey, I'm not going to write them off entirely. I'm going to write them off a little bit, but not entirely. If Endpoint can get their way up to 4 rounds, probably 3 still a little bit short of what you want. 3 rounds, maybe they can bring it all the way back. But now Endpoint, if they need Surreal to come alive, they need these to come alive. They really need to be able to run away with this particular round where they're not allowed at all. LDLC, meanwhile, they're comfortable. They're sitting down. They're having a cup of tea. They're having crumpets. I think that's the French thing. No, wait. It's croissants that I'm confusing it with. But anyhow.
It's okay if you stop right there.
It's all right. Food is always nice to have. That's the point. Crucial backs off. Unfortunately, he had a chance to potentially take down Body before he crossed over, but I don't even know if he's got the information of Body being nearby on the flank yet. Body will be taken down though. Surreal and Crucial find 2 initially. Lambert here to hold the charge, and he will also fall, turning things into a 2v4.
This is where the stars have really aligned. Some whiffs coming out. That might just be the window of opportunity that they needed. But 2 of the players are so low, so this retake might still be a little difficult. Starting to move in. But the smoke, that makes it so much harder. Afro, first one to contact them, gets to kill Sixer. Now trying to play off of these angles. 1 player walking into his crosshairs, and that just leaves a 1 versus 1. Mighty Max looking for the kill. Quickly tries to tap the bomb through the fuse. Sixer comes out wide, hits that shot, and that's the 12th round on the board. Despite getting those early 3 kills, the 4 versus 2 still doesn't end up materializing, and that is something that, honestly, I have no words for. I get it, you're on pistols, but at the same time, LDLC, they've just been wreaking havoc all across the board.
13 rounds in, no one on Endpoint on double digits as far as their kills go. Unfortunately, this is Endpoint not just dropping the ball, but kicking it off of the goddamn skyscraper.
Yeah, Vertigo very fitting for that.
Mighty Max nestled away inside the smoke, waiting for Afro to push through, but Afro and Body will take him down. They've been getting that kill every single time. Body the one now entering onto the ramp as he finds 2. A 5 versus 3 with so much utility still there for the terrorist side. Endpoint, they are being absolutely dominated by LDLC.
Yeah, they don't seem to catch a break, and now LDLC, they're moving into the A-bomb site. And even now, they have the numbers advantage. Crucial's on the op, so maybe he can get something done off of that. But he has the responsibility of holding down the line, holding down the flank, and also being ready for the potential of them going B. LDLC, though, they're taking their sweet time. They still have 45 seconds on the clock, but that's Robin getting a player. Body, meanwhile, lucky for him, he's able to immediately get the refrag. LDLC not showing their cards entirely just yet. Bomb still being dropped, and now 2 smokes have been thrown towards B. LDLC quickly making their way back as a body cleans house towards the A bomb site, and Surreal has been faked off. This works perfectly. The bomb should comfortably get planted. I mean, he was gonna go for a save anyway. They just guided him to the light.
Surreal also has to go for this. That's the problem. You don't have a buy in the next round anyway. Haji takes him down immediately. 30-1. We could feasibly see a 16-1 come through at this point.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I had faith in LDLC, but not this much faith. I'll be honest.
I didn't have faith in LDLC. I had this much faith in Endpoint.
Yeah, honestly, this seems like the scoreline you'd expect for Endpoint, but LDLC just completely knocking it out of the park as far as this game goes.
Yeah. They're doing really well as well. It's not just Endpoint making mistakes, it's the fact that LDLC have been getting these kills towards ramp every single time, and so much of that comes off the back of Afro, who we have to keep an eye out on again. Mighty Max has been going for this boost many times over. This time might just be caught out. Afro's ready for him. Mighty Max though, nades forward. Afro has to be careful. Mighty Max will be aggressing soon enough, but Afro reveals his position. That'll be that. The B bomb site is the destination for LDLC's flight right now, and Haji, well, he wants to fly right into Surreal.
Haji, he's picked up the first kill. Robin immediately responds. And that's LDLC again with the advantage. Sure, body's on low HP, but that also means that Endpoint will have vulnerabilities in their defenses. Losing a player on the CT side is that much more... the way I'd put it is impactful.
Worrying.
Oh yeah, that too. I think they've already worried enough, though. I think that is already out of their system when they're down 13-1. I think at that point the adrenaline is just so high it doesn't feel like anything anymore. There's just numbness.
LDLC is setting up for an executor. All comes down to Mighty Max. But Mighty Max finds the first. Can he find more? No. Sixer will fall. The Thomas after trading away for his team. And it's now a 2 versus 3 with 10 seconds on the clock. Could this be the magical round where Endpoint brings it all back together, or is Sixer going to come through with a 1v3? The nade answers the question, and at the very least, it won't be a 16-2.
Well, time for a shout out. As quick as this game has been so far, Unicorn has the most CSGO betting option in the world. Join Unicorn today and you could get 80 euros of bets from a 20 euro deposit. Bet on yourself in CSGO pubs, bet on pro teams, or get fresh esports matches 24/7 even when events are offline. Unicorn won Esports Bookmaker of the Year in 2019. Find out why today with your 300% first deposit bonus using code RELOG, RELOG, and now we're back to the game.
Well, there you have it. Endpoint. I mean, this is the point where you shake off all your worries, all your tension, say, hey, it's a new half, it's a new me, let's go, woo, new half, new resolutions. Unfortunately, just like New Year resolutions, they're not always really going to matter. Nade flies in, doesn't really do any damage, although Lambert could have potentially gotten a bit more in if that went out slightly earlier. And it seems like this 5v5 retake is on.
Lambert getting the first pick. That is the openings being made for the LDLC side. They've already picked up 2, and it's going to be that much easier to get the bomb defused. The T's holding on to their horses. They're not peeking out just yet. They're not sure if the defuse is still going on. Sixer picks up a kill, and now they have to stick to this defuse. Lambert holding on to it as he relies on his teammates to save him, but there it is. With just 3 players. Well, could they have held down the line? No, Haji panics, and he's going to leave the defuse. As I was saying, Endpoint, with only 3 players, they've picked up the round, and it's honestly way too early to say whether or not they've opened the door for themselves.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We just wait. It's like Macbeth. Fortunately, though, we do have a player on Endpoint now finally breaking double digits. It is Robin to get there on 11, and I won't say that he's been having a particularly stunning performance, but at the very least, he's been, having a performance. LDLC. on their CT side. The question is, can you continue your own performance? Because let's also keep in mind that as much as I'm praising LDLC and I am putting Endpoint down, Afro's been having the half of a lifetime. You don't just get 22, 23 kills like that in no other way. And that's such a scary proposition to potentially get trapped in, which is that when the half resets and your momentum, how you're used to playing resets, that can be very scary. Now, Body, he can also be very scary, but he misses his second shot, and the Deagle won't be able to capitalize. Mighty Max comes in from the side, finds himself one. Thomas is there for further trades, and Mighty Max will continue forward, bombing away money with the Mac 10. And although another Mac 10 is picked up by Lambert, it's actually not quite going to be him pushing forward. I thought Lambert might want to try the bomb plant. Instead, he's got an aggressive after it's already down. And Haji is left in a 1 versus 2. Eastside needs to be careful because they're both in risky territory. Mac 10 now picked up. Haji smoking himself off. Looking to push through smoke. Surreal is caught out, but lives with 6 points of HP. And it really didn't look like he was going to win that duel.
Yeah, if LDLC had won that round, that would be goodbye to any chances of bringing it back. At the very least, the one thing they can hope for, the one thing that they can play off of, is the fact that maybe Afro doesn't pop off anymore because of as you said, the reset and all, and the fact that they can slowly start to snowball the CT side economy to the point where they can't really buy up too many rounds. That being said, LDLC quickly going for a push with pistols, but Teaser very wise to what's about to happen. Robin just farming some money real quick. Playing a cute little flash game about farming. Should pretty much just be a throwaway round for the LDLC side.
Pretty much. Sixer maybe he can get a kill. No, he can't. So Endpoint takes it away. 5 rounds on the board for them, and they're still in a position where their players are performing slightly better. Robin on the T side now up to 15. On the other side,
if
Afro,
anything, it's much prettier than 13-1.
It's much prettier than 13-1. That is true. 13-5 is significantly prettier than that. Now, LDLC do have out their double op setup. The one that we were expecting from Endpoint will instead be showcased in the hands of the French team. LDLC really like going for this, and a lot of that comes down to, like you said, Lambert's proficiency with the weapon. Sixer needs to be careful because he might not realize Mighty Max is already on the right side, but he's backed off the utility, which is why he could still potentially push through from the sidelines. Afro is there to intercept. He's gone for this very same push so many times over that you're hoping he should be able to take it away. And it's coming over to him. He takes down Crucial initially, though. And with that, Sixer knows it's his time to start getting jiggy with it. But he's been brought down. Mighty Max entering onto the bomb site will be the one to get the kill.
Sixer not hitting that shot might just change the dynamic of this push entirely. Thomas has been able to creep up close, and now Afro is there to hold down the line alone. The rotation hasn't come through just yet, and they're entirely relying on Afro to pull something out of the bag here. So up close and personal to the bomb site. With a Molotov, all of that attention will eventually make him back off. He's waiting for the rotation to come through, and now this is where the bomb eventually gets planted. The CT side do have a Molotov, but with that smoke being deployed, it'll be that much harder to deny it. Retake. Oh, I don't think they... Are they going to go for this retake? Maybe LDLC plays this safe the way they've been. But with the way the utility is lined up, it does seem like they're starting to go for it. Oh, what am I looking at? Lambert, he's picked up the kill on Thomas. Suddenly being brought down to a 4 versus 3. Somewhat of a doable prospect, but these positions from the CTs, from the terrorists are going to be so much more difficult. Smoke rolls out. He's on the defuse, but it's a 10-second defuse. It'll be so difficult to protect him for that amount of time, but Mighty Max has been picked up as well, and the defuse should come in from LDLC on the most unlikeliest of rounds. That should be the end for Endpoint.
On the bright side, Endpoint still have a buy. They could still, technically claw their way back into it. LDLC lost quite a bit of their weaponry as well. So CT economy is still at the cusp of being broken. It's a very brittle economy right now. So although they have a full buy with full utility, quite a few kits, quite a bit of head armor, which I will perpetually raise my eye at, even though in vertical it's more excusable, it's still going to be a very rough road back for Endpoint. Potentially they reset the CT side economy. Potentially they can bring things back, but LDLC after that retake, oh, things get dicey.
Yeah, any chance they had, it's been further diluted. See what they can get done here towards ramp. Mighty Max, first man in, waiting for the AWP pick to come through, but he'll actually be the man to get the job done himself. Body has been picked up, the boost position is flared, and now Afro, he's been so good towards the A-bomb side, he's gotten picked towards ramp, he's done so much work on either side. Can he hold down this push? Endpoint not committing to anything just yet. They're taking their time, they're waiting for the CTs to reposition, waiting for the vulnerabilities to expose themselves, and now the utility truly starts to come through.
Crucial and Mighty Max holds ready low. Flashbang is there. Afro is as well, and he's got himself 3, 4. The 5th will be stolen by Sixer, but Afro, what a hold. And where I was worried about the half switch coming in, maybe taking away some of that sick form that we've seen so far, Afro is very much ready to take everyone and everything down. Look at those 4 kills. Beautiful stuff.
What did I just watch? I'm sorry. I was very taken aback by the fact that he was able to get 3 quick kills, and even that one last kill on the opposing angle, just beautifully done. And what can you do about mechanics like that? At some point, because get it done in the second map, and Lambert, he wants to end this map as fast as possible. He's picked up 2 kills, and it comes down to a 3 versus 3. AWP being picked up, the AK being picked up, and now Endpoint are slowly backing off. They're resetting the space. But I think Mighty Max might just want to go for a pick here. Endpoint, hoping for a flank to come through. They want that saving grace. They want that light at the end of the tunnel, but at best, they might just be able to find a bit of a flashlight that's running out of batteries. Ooh, Endpoint. Going to be very tough for them. They don't have much to work off of, but Haji being flashed, never mind. Body is still there. Haji eventually recuperating from the flash in his eyes, picks up the 2nd kill, and that just leaves Mighty Max, the in-game leader, has 1 kill, has the AWP in his hand, goes for the fake to try to bait out the position. Haji exposing himself. Now he just has 1 more player to worry about. There it is. The info comes through, and now it all comes down to playing the train game. Picks up the first kill, unfortunately, though. The second one will not pull through. And that's 16-5 from LDLC after a monstrous terroricide.